Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Long time no ramble, honestly. It's been a minute. So today I want to cover something that comes deep from my heart. It is about RuneScape. Yes, it's about RuneScape, but namely it's about drop rates, drop systems, and anti-dry mechanics. This has been a conversation that has been going around a lot in my live stream on Twitch. By the way, you can go follow me down on Twitch in the description if you guys are interested. I will be trying out YouTube live streaming as well when I start my hardcore group Iron Man coming up very, very soon. End of this month, July 26th, I believe is our start date. For those that are unaware, this is just a side tangent. We're going to get to the main thing in a brief second, but I know a lot of you are very interested in this. I am creating a hardcore group Iron Man with Tasty Life, T Papa Slice, Jesse, and No Monkey. Yes, us five are creating a hardcore group, and it's starting July 26th. I'm so excited about it. So I'm going to be trying to do like duo streaming between Twitch and YouTube. I don't know if I'm going to be making a series of it. I think I would require an editor, and the amount of work that would take an editor is just like, I'm not in that mindset for this. So I think for this series, it's not a series, but for this like hardcore group, I will just be live streaming it, and those VODs will be saved onto YouTube, so you can check them out there if you guys are just YouTube exclusive. Anyway, I don't know why that it was even brought up again. I'm trying to think where I've lost my train of thought entirely. Okay, so I was talking about following my Twitch, whatever. Yeah, so you guys are going to want to follow me on Twitch, but I'll also be streaming on YouTube for at least a little bit. If it goes well, I'll keep doing it. But I get asked a lot on my streams, like, what are your thoughts on Tormented Demons, for example, that just came out? What are your thoughts on the drop system and how you have to get 2 of the bone claws to make the bone claws, or whatever they're called? I don't even know. I've only killed 4 Tormented Demons, to be fair, so I am not going to be too judgmental on how that whole system works, but I'm aware enough to know what's going on. I've read a bunch of Reddit posts, and I also get asked, I'm going to just pull this up really quick. I also get asked, this is my Duke log, by the way, and because I've been grinding Duke, I think I made a community post on YouTube, so a lot of you are aware of how bad this is getting. 67-21 Duke, no Baron. But because I'm grinding Duke, people ask me, oh, what are your thoughts on the ingot system? Do you like that? You know, do you like the Phantom Muspa Venator shard system? What are your thoughts on that? And I get asked it a lot. And I also had Wazzy and Mikaru on the Sebe cast just recently. They are the creators that came over from RS3, and they have a differing point of view, especially Wazzy. He's got different points of view when it comes to anti-dry mechanics. I believe in RS3, if I can recall correctly. I've never played the game, but I learned enough, I think. And I believe how it is pets have anti-dry mechanics. And you know, so you're never going to go super, super dry. Clearly, there's been some examples of people still going egregiously dry, but it's very, very rare. So, yeah, they have systems like that, which is kind of interesting. And so I'm just going to pull this back up real quick because I don't think there's anything else I'm going to be showing. If I do show something, I'll just pull it back up. But so I want to talk today about the systems that I prefer in old school RuneScape, the drop systems, the anti-dry mechanics that I like, things like that. And I want to get your guys' feedback down in the comments to see what you guys prefer going forward. Because I feel like, honestly, the drop rates, like none of us have really been that satisfied with the current drop systems that come out with these new bosses, namely Desert Treasure 2, Tormented Demons, Phantom Muspa. Like, people just have problems with these kinds of things, and we need to get it resolved. And I think the best way to resolve it is to get the discussion going. So I'm going to share my thoughts and get the ball rolling for you guys down in the comments. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. So first things first, I'm just going to say one of the drop systems I absolutely adore, and that is Mithril Dragons. Yeah, I know that sounds super, super random. I grinded Mithril Dragons like 5 years ago, and it was one of the most enjoyable grinds. And the reason is because for those that are unaware of Mithril Dragons, they drop a Dragon Full Helmet, and it's a 1 in 32,000, which is absolutely out of control rare. And also dropped the Draconic Visage, but I was hunting that Dragon Full Helm. But what's cool about it is you get these chewed bones. I call them chewies. And you get these chewed bones every 42 kills. It's a 1 in 42 drop, and those chewed bones can be used on the pyre sites next to Barbarian Fishing. And you can have a 1 in 250 chance of getting the Dragon Full Helm from there. So effectively, it makes it about a 1 in almost 8,000 chance to get the Dragon Full Helm, including the bones and including the raw chance of getting the 1 in 32,000 drop. That is an anti-dry mechanic that I prefer. I know it's not exactly anti-dry, but it is in a way, because you're splitting up these chances to get the drop. And that's the kind of systems I really like, because one, getting a chewed bone feels really good, and it's not a component of the Dragon Full Helm. It's not a 2/50th of the Dragon Full Helm like the Venator Shard would be. I want to bring up the Phantom Muspa. What I don't like about Phantom Muspa, you get 5 Venator Shards to make a Venator bow, and you must have 5 Venator Shards to create it. That system I do not like, because you don't feel good about getting your first Venator Shard, or your second one, or your third one, or your fourth one. I mean, it kind of feels good because you're working towards something, but it only ever actually feels good once you get the 5th one. And it's not even a great feeling, because you knew it was coming pretty soon, and it's just kind of like a sigh of relief, like, oh, finally it's done. Like, that's nice. I can finally leave. I finally got my 5th one. It's not like, boom, I got the drop. Like, let's go. You're freaking out. I think that is worthwhile. I think those moments when you get the drop and it's just a beautiful moment and you weren't expecting it at all, that's what we need. I feel like this breaking down into components and having 3 or 5 or 2 of things is just obnoxious. It really is. So I want to bring up how you could translate the Mithril Dragon drop system to Phantom Muspa, for example. Now, I'm going to continue on with, Sire is going to be an example. Tormented Demons I'll bring up as an example as well. But let's just keep these two, drop tables. So we got Mithril Dragons. There's the drop you can get directly from the boss, the Mithril Dragon itself. The Dragon Full Helm can just drop. Very rare. But you also get these chewed bones. And you could actually get the Dragon Full Helm on your first chewed bone. That's what I like about it. If that were to translate over to Phantom Muspa, how it would work is you could get the Venator bow drop straight up from Phantom Muspa. It would clearly have to be a lot more rare, maybe a 1 in 3,000 or something crazy. So you're not really expecting to get it there, but you have a rare chance of getting the bow directly on 1 KC. That is hype as hell. That is so cool to be able to get something on your first KC. Everybody loves that. But on top of that, instead of having Venator shards, I would propose Venator keys, or some sort of key system where you get a key every 100, or maybe even chop it down a little bit more and make it 1 in 50, so it feels a little bit more like you're getting these. And then there is a Phantom Muspa chest or a Venator chest or something, some really hype little area where people gather if you collected a bunch of these keys, and then you open and you can get the Venator bow directly from there. So it kind of feels like the Font of Consumption, I believe it's called, is where the Abyssal Sire thing is, where you use your own sires there. It would be a system like that, similar to Chewed Bones. You light the pyre site and you can get the items there. And so you're getting these Phantom or Venator keys or something like that you can build up and you use them there. So you're never getting these Venator shards exactly. So you don't have to you don't have to collect Exodia to get your bow. You could just get it in 1 key. And I think that's really exciting. But the drop rate, more or less, would still be around the 1 in 500 that it currently is, where you have to get 5 Venator shards, 1 in 100 each. Somehow they'd balance it around there. But that hype is still there, and this sort of key system is still there to keep the anti-dry mechanics going in a way. That I would personally love. And people are probably thinking, oh, I hate Abyssal Sire. That was a few people in my stream said, no, this system reminds me of Abyssal Sire, and I don't like that. The difference between Abyssal Sire is you cannot get a full bludgeon from the boss. So killing Abyssal Sire always feels bad because there is no big ticket win. There's no I could get the pet right here, right now from the boss. I could get a full bludgeon right here, right now from the boss. I could get a dagger right here. No, you can't get any of that. All it is keys. That's a mistake. So to translate over from Phantom Muspa, I would hate it if you could only get these keys. I would much prefer you could still get the pet drop. You could still get the Venator drop from the boss itself, but you also have these keys alongside. So to translate over to Abyssal Sire, you would also have these unsires that you can use to get the bludgeon. And I actually would prefer it not to be a 3-piece bludgeon. I'd prefer it to actually just be a straight up, you can just get a bludgeon because it's way more hype. Again, I don't like components on things. I don't like the ingot system either. But the big thing to take away is that with the system I would like, you could get the pet and the full bludgeon or the abyssal dagger directly from the boss itself at a rare rate. So there is still that 1 KC potential to get something crazy. And that's a system I like. Let me know what you guys think about that. Am I going crazy? Is this something that the community feels strongly for? Am I the only one that feels this way? This is why I'm trying to start this discussion, because I want to really kind of shine a light on this it feels like a problem to me, and it feels like drop systems just don't feel that good. Now I want to talk about Tormented Demons. The 2 claw component sucks. That sucks. Come on, really? We have to get 2 of these things to make our claws, to make our. This is a separate discussion I'll talk about because the drop rates are too rare there. They are just too rare. I think the drop tables are fine for the most part. The normal loot, that's whatever. You're getting a crap load of Slayer XP if you're on a demon task. A lot of people are enjoying the fight. I personally think they're a big eyesore, and I went into Hey Jace's stream earlier today, and I told him that I think it's an eyesore. I think Rigondeaux also thinks it's an eyesore. He came to my stream saying he had to take a break because he's getting a headache from all the flames and shit. But a lot of people have nostalgia for this. I didn't play in 2008 or whenever this came out. I quit in 2007 as a child. And I just didn't play the game for 8 years. So I don't have any nostalgia for these. And they look abominable. I hate the way they look. They look like they straight up came from Toontown. Like just translated over. Just like, what is up with the flames? Anyway, totally separate. We'll talk more about Tormented Demons when they inevitably make an update to that. But I hate the 2-piece system. It's so crappy. It's so crappy. Do you guys like that? Does anyone like that? Let me know down in the comments. I know I say let me know down in the comments a bunch, but just let me know because I want to get this discussion going. So Tormented Demons, if it were up to me, it would be much cooler if you just got the claws. Boom, you got them. That's dope. Much cooler. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is just the Desert Treasure 2 table in general. Ingot systems. Ingots suck. We all think it sucks. I think a lot of people don't like the anti-dry mechanic of vestiges either. I think it's much, much, much cooler to just be able to get the vestige. Yes. I mean, you can make these things a bit more reasonable, I would say. I think they kind of struck a pretty good balance of the rarity of these things. But the anti-dry mechanics, really, you know where they could have come from? These ice quartz. Yes. The ice quartz should have been that anti-dry mechanic. So ice quartz, for those that don't know, is a 1 in 200. They can be attached to your scepter thing to have some special effects, but they can also be used to open the chest down in the Desert Treasure 2 little pyramid area. There's like a chest that you can open. And guess what? All you can get is normal loot. You can't get any unique chance, or you can't get uniques from opening this chest. You just get normal loot. That was a big mistake. That was a blunder in my opinion. These are untradeable, by the way. So this would have been the absolute perfect opportunity to allow you to potentially get uniques or pets from these ice quartz, and that would act as the anti-dry mechanic. So it's not necessarily an anti-dry mechanic, and I'm not saying, okay, let me take this back. This doesn't exactly work as an anti-dry mechanic, but what it does act as is an additional loot roll that feels really, really good. You could stack them up, and boom, you have additional chances at getting actual uniques, the actual pet, and that feels really, really cool. And it's not abusable because these things are rare as hell and they're untradeable, so you can't, there's no abuse. The anti-dry mechanics, this is the only place where they've actually stated, this is an anti-dry mechanic we are trying out. I'm not fully against there being a 3-piece or a 3 invisible drop thing to eventually get the vestige. I'm not actually against that. What I am against is there not being any potential for you to just get the 1 KC drop. I think there should always be that rare chance of getting the drop straight up without any invisible rolls. I think that's super important. Even if it was a 1 in, 3,000 or 5,000, something crazy, it would still be worth it to have that potential. I think that's so important. The anti-dry is fine here. I think the invisible rolls they could do in a little bit cooler way. There is potential downsides to this, but one of the things that I've brought up in past casts is like, what if there was, let's just bring up Vardorvis, for example, that Vardorvis arena, imagine there was torches around, and when you get an invisible roll, some of the torches get lit up. And then you get another invisible roll, and the torches get brighter. So you know that stadium that you're fighting him in is getting lit up, and you know that, oh my God, okay, any moment now I could get the drop because this place is like rumbling. It's like, holy crap. The only downside is that when there is no lit torches, you feel like crap because you know you're nowhere close. But at least you would have that super, super rare chance of just getting the drop randomly, which I think is so important. So anyway, I am just rambling your guys' ears off at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed this, at least just opening this discussion up. There's probably a lot of other things I missed talking about, but if you guys have any questions or if you guys have any other things you'd like me to cover, just let me know and I'll make another ramble and we'll cover a little bit more of this. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to talk. So drop a like if you enjoyed this. Thank you all. Subscribe if you are interested in more rambles and casts. We got a very, very special Save A cast, by the way, coming up on Saturday. Very excited. We're not taking Twitter topics from this one. So anyway, it will just drop, and I think you guys will really enjoy some of the stories on there. So anyway, I will catch you guys then on Saturday. Thank you guys very much for listening, and then have a wonderful Thursday. Peace.